Thank you everyone for holding out here. We've got a really cool feature this evening because it's not just one, but it's two readers this evening. And I've got information that Owen Wagner and Steve Henn are the people. And now, as you'd all seen, I'm a literary magazine publisher, and I thought it was really cool to hear that these guys were editors and publishers of, get this for a title, Fight These Bastards. I was like, oh man, I still want to submit to that, but then I just heard that they had closed down a year ago, and I'm like, oh crap, oh well. But these guys are cool in their own right. Both of them, Owen has a collection book out this called Voluptuous Gloom, and Musclehead Press released a Steve Henn book, The Dominant Paradigm, last year as well. And these two guys are from Indiana. They came all the way out here, and they're actually recording stuff this evening because there's a chance that there will be excerpts from this that would be played on a major radio show. You'll have to talk to Steve about it, but in two different parts. So I want you, everybody, give tons and tons of applause for our features this evening, Owen Wagner and Steve Henn. Give it up. All right, get up here.
Yes. Hey everybody. Thanks for coming out. It's nice to see Charlie Newman. He gave me my first reading in Chicago years and years ago. I've had a terrible sense of direction since I've been here. Me and my friends went to the Museum of Science and Industry today, and we're driving around, and we wind up somehow on Cottage Grove Road. And I realized that if Chicago were a monopoly board, then that would be Baltic Avenue.
Right.
Right by me.
So I have a book that came out in December. It's $15. If you know me, if I know your first name, it's $10. And then this guy, it's $5, but you can give me any amount of money. I'll take it. I've got two poems for you tonight. I decided, since Steve Henn and I read a lot together, I will spare him the things that he's heard me read time and time again, so I'm reading two things he's never heard me read tonight. This is untitled. My dreams have seemed very real the last few nights. It's hard to tell after waking that I was asleep at all. Maybe I'm sleepwalking. Maybe life and the entire eternity we think we know that exists is ethereal for a reason. God doesn't want us to hold on to this life and elusive thinking and miss the pulse that is beyond the everyday experience, beyond the darkness of eyelids, beyond the sun climbing in the east. There's a place that is more real than human cardinal directions, more concrete than the terra firma earth, more tangible than our own epidermis, beyond wide open eyes, beyond tongues scrambled since Babylon, listening intently for the voice that brings light. This poem is called Un-American Prayer. Third eye with poor depth perception, thinking about the day ahead of you and the days behind. Pucker your lips like you are saying the word breathe. Walk down your Denver aisle with the first week of December has perished. I see the Cape Cod and the tears you're holding back. I feel the Ann Arbor of your kiss and Chicago of your walk. Save your heart and I'll spill my name in the atlas of your life. The apostles and the apocalypse, the Apache tribesmen, the assassins and the anarchist know what time and dimension could never know. The alchemists and the arrogant, the androgynous and the antichrist know the pain of the neverlasting, that life is fleeting. Everything in existence is in a state of decay. Recessive genes in the face of your handsome boy in this world feels out of order decay. Guns drawn in a heart that's bleeding out decay. The assassins know the royal flush, the royal sovereign leader, the royal crush, the royal cola of decay. Pornography floods your mouth. Eyelids blink. S-O-S. How many heartbeats do any of us have left? Can you lift the bent hex of the voodoo eternal? Would you want to? You have your Rocky Mountain, your mark of the beast. You have all that will be extinct in your hand. It's all yours again and again for the taking, for your greedy hands like Atlanta Braves chopping through thin air with a tomahawk, or thick air with war-spent bullets, or mental breakdowns after 19 years of small-town Indiana, walking the railroad tracks to an imaginary friend's house, crying until you taste stomach bile, until your eyes dry, until you stumble over your own 2 feet and don't care if you ever stand up from the parallel universe of railroad ties and steel. If you can earn a living by dying, then wealth would be no problem. A world that carries itself, that travels in an awkward orbit around a sun that doesn't shine enough, when love doesn't conquer all, when passion cannot be mustered up enough to hate or detest or deceive, when you just don't care anymore, when your nervous breakdown has broken the speed of sound and neighboring counties can hear your barbaric cries, when you hit the zenith of your decline, when the knots in your stomach have become a noose, somehow the lead in your heart can still turn to gold. A spark turns into a volcanic eruption. Dead letters turn into braille and you can feel again. Things are better than they've ever been. A decade later, the cage bird returns. 3 decades later, Saturn has come and gone. Or yesterday, the tide takes the sandcastle. Yesterday, the last candle burns. Yesterday, the last sacrifice was made. All songs have been sung, and none of this matters. The simple universe spills ahead. Take your first step in any direction. Even when the destination isn't your destiny, if you're afraid to step into the hedgerow, then you have to go beyond the forest. Go beyond yourself. I've been to your home on the range. I've sung the silent night. I've spent all that you can spend while being homeless. I've grown my hair out for the world, for the end of the world that hasn't come. I've bare-ass mooned the army tank that sits on the courthouse square in my crazy town on one of those nights I swear I was going to die of boredom. And I'd do the same to any other killing machine on display. I've rang salvation's bell, only to be forsaken by the sound. When there's not enough body and blood to go around, and my transgressions are not forgiven, I've stood in a phone booth in the worst of winter for hours to talk to my first love. I've smoked opium in strangers' living rooms. When the high clears, when the sky has fallen and lifted itself back up, I realize I will pass away. These thoughts will pass away. This world will pass beyond nothing. There will be no memory, no recorded history. There will be no Lewis and Clark expedition. There will be no November 7th, 1805. No Apollo moon landing. No Berlin Wall. Dodgers will not have won the 1988 World Series. No Great Chicago Fire. The Japanese will never have bombed our harbor. There will be no Jesus or 3 nails in the cross. No Inquisition. No statistics. No Alexander Graham Bell. No slaughtering of Gandhi, Malcolm X, John Lennon, or Martin Luther King. Every killing or birth in future history will be of no consequence when it is all eroded by the dark winds of time. When all languages are dead like Latin. Tongues and memories will fail and fade, but in the meantime, we hold on to life like a spider clings onto the porcelain of a toilet bowl, because this life is all we have until the shadows prevail. The dawn is exhumed from last night. The eastern sky is the color of an autopsy. You wake up with last night's taste in your mouth. Roll out of bed and stare into the mirror, concentrating on your beautiful face. I can see something you're not able to notice, the age in your face, and you're already falling apart. I love your deflections, inflections, your introspections. When the dead lay themselves to rest, we will be there with our stolen funeral flowers. My only job is to make your pale skin blush. We feel the rush of youth and the crush of lost time. Everything coming to an end. This beautiful beginning will pass away. But right now, the wind is blowing outside these windows. And I am here without you, missing the way you feel. Missing your pagan tongue, your binary language, our shared oxygen when we inhale, exhale in our shared nearness. I will be slain by this abandoned feeling until you are next to me, until you teach me how to say amen by never saying a word. Thank you.